their monitors or
Yeah.
by their booths, he came through where everybody was lined up and was like, "Oh, what are you guys here for?" And like we're like, "You," and he goes, "For me." And he purposefully made sure he high-fived everybody in
Yeah.
line. He gave hugs to like people who wanted a hug, and then started the line for that.
Ooh. See that, and that creates that sense of experience and joy in that moment. And speaking of, I just had one of my friends, Ankit. He said, "Closeted Mario knowing cybersecurity." Yo, Ankit, you're wrong for that, by the way. Yahoo! But and, and he said Lisa Ann is a good actress. So I'm guessing I don't know Lisa Ann, but I'm guessing she's probably in some kind of movie. I don't know, but anyhow, no. But going back to your point was like at least Matthew Lillard took the time out of the
Mhm.
con to create that sense of like memory for people. Like what I mean? Like
Oh
sometimes
yeah,
you meet your idol and you're just like, oh man, I'm like so excited to meet you, and then they just kind of like not they
yeah.
people
They
will
just
tend to be like in their own world and they just have
mhm.
so many things going on that they forget to like say hi or whatever. A simple hello goes a long way, whether you're a celebrity or whether you're a basic person. And that actually segues into my point was I was walking the grocery store after working out, right? So I went to go grab um, orange juice, chicken breast, chicken again. It was good chicken. And then I grabbed like canned milk or whatever. So I'm walking through the aisle and I'm over here like when I walk around, I'll be walking around clueless as heck. Just like and
Oh yeah, got the music playing in your head and everything like that, you know.
like just like nonchalant. But then I saw somebody smile and I was like, "Hey, how are you?" And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm good." And I think they were intimidated because I just got out the gym, so I look like kind of like swollen stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm like easygoing. And then so like that within itself saying hi, you could tell it uplifted their spirit because they had their head down, a little nervous. And I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like this kind of like
Yeah.
that they're seen. You know what I mean? And that goes a long way, whether it's somebody that's a mega celebrity or just a regular
Mhm.
person walking through Isle of Shots. It goes a long way to kind of keep people's energy up because I think the world needs that more often than not, if anything, for sure. Um,
Yeah. And
but
that's why I gotta say that's one thing that I love about the community that, with cosplay and stuff like that is
mhm.
because, you know, there's so many of us where, you just walk up to us and we'll be, you want to take a picture with us? Yeah, of course we'll take
Yes,
a picture with that. You want to do
yes,
a pose? We'll do a pose.
correct.
And it's like, yeah, there are some people that, maybe not know the etiquette where it's like, yes, you should ask before taking a picture,
Yep.
That's why when I first started cosplaying and stuff like that, I started following other people who are creators and things like that in the cosplay community.
Yeah.
And their big thing is that they had, because there was, I guess, something happened at like a San Diego Comic Con where it says cosplay is not consent.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So just because you see somebody in a specific kind of outfit doesn't mean
Yep.
that you get to just take a picture of them without like,
Their
their
permission.
permission or something like that.
Understandably so. Understandably so. And that goes to the point of the whole like it's a community, right? So
Hmm.
it's the same thing whether in like sports club or whether you're in a fitness group or whether you're
Hmm.
in a cosplay, or you're mental a mental health space group or whatnot. Like that all goes to the whole like consensual and just kind of like being respectful of each other. I mean that goes a long way because at the end of the day, like people are trying to figure out themselves in the midst of like other people that are probably in the same boat that are just trying to figure it out themselves too. So I get where you're coming
Yeah.
from. But let me see. I'm just trying to read over here real quick. So one of my friends said hi. What up, Sept? Said hi, and he said yes, preach. So the topic that we're talking about is hitting. And then Sept said, "Are you going to Connecticut this year?" So, Step, we will definitely. Are you going to Connecticut Con?
Is the I'm trying to
That's the
remember when
Connecticut one.
that one's in it's in August, right?
I think so, or something like that. But I know I have them on my list. I know I definitely will be at.
Because I know one Kineticon was I believe it was the first time I met you because
Yeah,
Rhode Island Anime Con was also during the exact same time as Kineticon was, and I think they decided to move them away from each other so
thank
that
God.
people could go to both.
Yep, thank God.
So if as long as it's not during the same
Yeah.
weekend as Rhode Island Anime Con, I will 100% be
Correct.
going to that as well.
Correct. And it's so interesting. So, so Sep said is actually in July. So shout out to you,
Oh,
Sep. So I'm gonna put that in
even
my
better.
I'm pretty sure it's in my calendar because I have like I don't know. I'm the type of person that I try to like plan in advance. So I have a couple like cons in my thought process. So I definitely will be around and all over the place. And somebody said I cosplay as a bro, and Kid's wild. He's wild for that. But no, like going back to the whole like I forget what I was talking about because I know we were branching on so many topics and cosplay and things of that nature. But like I think that's the cool part about all this is like we just get to be ourselves in different environments, whether you're
Mhm.
at work or whether you're at the gym or whether you're at a convention. It's like, you know, you get to play all these different roles of just like being that sense of joy and happiness. And I love the fact that when we went to it was it RICC Rhode Island Comic Con, right? When we did the duels.
Yeah, where you were Tengen and I was Inosuke.
Yeah, so like even when
Yes.
they're getting a Inosuke or Mickey Mouse
Yes,
and
and Inosuke.
which made no sense. Like, why is Mickey Mouse in Inosuke? And
But
then,
I mean, that's the beauty of it. It's like, you go to these conventions, you don't have to
yep,
always, be in sync with the people. Like, it's like,
correct.
oh, I'm gonna cosplay this. It's like I'm gonna cosplay that. That's perfectly fine
And
too.
it was
You
so
you want to
funny.
cosplay that? Go.
We ran into even Sebastian, who
Yep.
like, we did that little skit where we're like,
Yep. The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse dance.
yo, but it was so
We're
awesome. Like,
actually finally live.
oh, really?
Woo!
It
We've been
only
shooting,
took us
we've been shooting shit.
50
Nah, this has been
minutes,
good.
guys, to go live.
It's so funny. So like, it's really cool because just by coincidence, like my live is on here. So like, I have a couple friends that also like have been messaging, like writing stuff. So I'm responding while and
Yeah,
also.
well, Instagram is still not live for me, so
Mhm.
but we are live on a couple of platforms.
It's all good.
That
It's all
said,
good.
for anybody out there watching, this is the Brightside Chronicles featuring Nana Adjaman and Kerry Lewis.
Yeah.
I have been here having technical difficulties for the last 50 minutes, and I will be fully transparent. As much as I practice staying zenned out, I'm a little hot and bothered right now. So I
It's
do
all
have
good.
to
You're
laugh
human.
at the fact that it is what it is. And I appreciate Connor going with the flow. Enjoy talking with Nana about cosplay stuff, which for anybody on Nana's Instagram page, you guys got a very unique experience of having a one-sided conversation, potentially hearing Connor in the background. And
I know.
everybody else,
It's
you're
so
just
interesting. I'm
jumping
over
in
here.
live now, and we're going with the flow.
Yeah, but this is the cool part about it is like we can improvise. You know, what I mean, it's not scripted.
Hey,
It
hey,
just
Miss
goes. Like,
Jenna.
Yeah.
oh shoot! But no, like going back to the point is I was gonna say because this year, at Rhode Island Comic Con, I've been getting tagged by like Becky and a couple of other
Hmm.
people, and apparently the voice actor for Dora the Explorer is gonna be there,
Yep.
and also the voice actor for her backpack. So I'm like, oh damn, do they want me to bring back like Buff Dora, the original OG,
Yes.
the original?
Yes. Yes.
Yo, so that might be like that might have to happen on one of those days for sure. I think it might be like I'll improvise something that day, but I'm excited now because I got tagged in it and I was like, yo, that's some cool stuff. And last year was a great time, like even just meeting just people over there that I've just been able to still keep up with now. So that was just really awesome to kind of be about it. But yes.
So, I'm gonna jump in here and kind of bring it back a little bit to forward because hopefully you got a little bit of time, guys. Because so this show is all about joy, and right now I'm
Mhm.
laughing at myself because that's all I
Of
can
course.
do. Technology and me have a working relationship, and I'm learning to
Y'all doing great.
appreciate it with my
Yeah.
experience that I have. But you just gotta laugh at it. And Connor, so you do cosplay as well. For all those who are listening now who weren't listening before,
Mhm.
what inspired you to dress up in cosplay, and how does cosplaying impact your everyday life and infusing joy into your everyday life?
So the first convention I ever went to was, I believe, 2017 Rhode Island Comic Con, and I saw all these people dressing up and having the time of their lives. Having, some people had lines to take pictures with them, and it's like, they're just everyday people just enjoying themselves. And, I had always thought about, dressing up and, going as a character. And one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I decided to go full out, bleached my hair, threw on the costume, threw on a little bit of like makeup to do the whiskers for
Yeah.
Naruto, went there, had a blast, and I remember one first person came and wanted to take a picture with me, and then all of a sudden he goes, "Hey, is it okay if my friends take a picture with you?" And all of a sudden I had like 8 people taking a photo with me. And ever since then, that feeling and that joy of, not only through myself, but seeing the, joy of other people bringing these characters to life, that, they spend, hours and hours watching and, just relating to, because some of these characters that I've cosplayed, it's because I relate to them in a certain
Mhm.
way. And
Mhm.
that's why that's how I choose some of my cosplays. Like, all right, I can relate to that character. Or that's a feeling that I had, is like how that character feels sometimes.
So, how does that play into how you experience joy throughout your everyday?
So, you know, when you look, the way I see it is, cosplaying through some of these characters is, you know, some of them are the, the darker half, and then but I see it as a way for me to break out of the norm, and it allows me to finally have that voice, and that also that, what's the word that I'm looking for? Uh,
It's almost like a
well,
shift in like mentality.
yeah.
If you think
So
about
it's, yeah, and things that, we experience in life, you have that balance and that scale. It's like, all right, how am I going to choose to live my life? Am I going to choose the dark half, or am I going to choose the light
it,
half?
light hat.
And
Yes.
that's the whole thing, the
College.
whole yin and yang of the universe, where it's like, there's, one side cannot exist without the other. It's trying to find that balance between the two of
Mm,
them,
mm.
and just going about it, and, deciding how you want to live your life. And cosplay has allowed me to finally get out there and just express myself through the characters that I have. As when I did shirtless Inosuke,
Yes,
boar-headed,
yes.
kind of aggressive, overly energetic person. And that's how I kind of am throughout my actual life. Is, you could ask people I work with, and it's just like, they're like, "Well, how do you have so much energy?" And I'm like, "I have no idea."
Yeah.
But I love that because your energy inspires other people who
Others,
may
yep.
not, you know, be inclined to be fully expressed, so to speak, to give themselves permission to kind of show up and be a little bit more themselves, or
Mhm.
do things with a little bit more joy, you know?
Yeah, and like I always say, it's like, there's a risk to doing stuff like that with cosplay, putting yourself out there, but every day you take a risk no matter what you do, and it's about risk that, gives life purpose. It's
Mhm.
taking those chances. It's stepping outside of your social norm, and just actually being yourself, no matter, what people may say, no matter what people may think. It's about, you. And if you enjoy it, don't let anybody stop you.
I love that.
Woo!
So do you know that, again, I mean, I talk a lot about energy in my everyday life with people, and joy is such a high vibrating energy, and when you are in joy, even if it doesn't make sense for anybody else, right? Like, I love skulls, it doesn't have to make sense for anybody else,
Hmm.
but that brings me a lot of joy. And in that joy, I operate from a higher energy, and in that higher energy, I attract that higher energy. When I'm in like a more apathetic, sad, angry type of energy, the reality is I'm attracting that type of energy. So I
Hmm.
encourage people, do what feels right for you all the time, even if you get um resistance from other people, because that is your superpower, staying in that joy.
Mhm,
Hmm.
mhm. And I mean, staying in that joy is a huge thing, right? So, like going back to like me dressing up as
Real quick,
Mario.
Connor, can you stay on till 8:15, or do you gotta jump?
I got nowhere to be. I'm at home.
Okay. Well, just
Yeah.
because of technical difficulties, I
It's all
wanted
good.
to give the listening audience a little bit of time.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. But no, going back to staying in the whole joy thing is like it like I said earlier before it like didn't work or whatever it is, the whole dressing up in the getup, right? Like it just, why is he dressed up as a Mario character? Why not? Why not just be yourself in that moment of how you felt, in that sense of like, oh, you know what? Like, I'm gonna go out to eat dinner, but I want to wear Speedo. And I'm like, no, it's
Listen,
good.
I'm gonna tell you right now, there are a lot of people watching Nana's
Yeah,
Instagram page
yeah,
talking about say where you're going to eat
yeah,
in a Speedo. And actually, I've seen your fit too, Connor, Mr. Working Out buff
yeah,
chest type person. There ain't a lot of girls who gonna be mad at
yeah.
that either, or men, depending on which type of gender you are. I'm
Yo,
just saying.
shout out to Dave for the
Well,
plug on that one. Yeah, that was.
one thing to add on that is, Nana, I don't know if you remember, but when we were walking around Comic-Con, there
Yeah.
was a group of people there for the Renaissance Fair, and
Yes,
one of the
but she was
girls who was working there, she kept giving us free tickets because
and
we
that
were
was because
shirtless.
I threw that shit away. And you know what it was? It was really the inside thing. I didn't know. I thought it was just like random things.
Oh no, I kept mine. I got 8 free tickets for this
Ah,
year's
but
Ren Fair.
yo, I might have to grab some for you. But like, yo, I literally like, and I felt bad because I literally got rid of them by accident. And I was like, oh, this is like, it's probably just a flyer. I didn't know it was actual ticket. I was like, yo, what the heck? But no, she was mad funny. That was mad funny. I forgot about that because she was like persistent. And then they had lost something. It was
Oh
like
yeah, we were just walking around and she would just throw it at
yo,
us.
yo, remember, babe? I came back and I had a whole bunch of things in my bag, and I was
Yeah.
like, yo, we got like 20 of these. And I'm like, I don't even think I know 20 people right now. Like, what the?
Hey, personally, I think I want to see. Oh my God, tell me how cool it would be to have you two pull up and cosplay characters at a Ren fair.
Oh,
Forget
100% I'm down.
about it,
I'm with the shit.
yo.
You see, they want Mario at the Ren Fair. They want
Listen,
Mario. They
I
want
was
They
Luigi.
do cosplay nights some days.
I
They do
mean,
like certain like fandom
I
days.
might just pull up. It might be in the
yeah, but
wrong
you gotta
medieval era.
understand, like the way I am. We gotta like. I didn't show up anyway. I told Nana, so I'm gonna use my LLC so that next year we can have a cosplay parade float, like group of people who are in the
Yep.
parade as cosplayers.
And you know the funny thing is,
Yes.
I ran into a customer this week that was in the parade. So I was like, "Oh, you were in the parade. How do you get in the parade?" Because we were just talking about, and this is what I was gonna tell you, babe. So what it was is that she was like, "I think you just gotta just talk to them, and you gotta have like just like from what it sounds like, I think there's like a little fee or whatever, but to just be in the parade." But it seemed like it was pretty easy. It was just like, oh, this is so funny because we were just literally talking about this like 2 days ago because I was at the parade and I just happened to be in it, and she was actually in the parade, and I was like, this is interesting. So I was like, that's good to know for next year. So like we can invite group people, be like, yo, like come walk the
Well, so
parade.
for all the cosplayers in the New
Yes.
England
Yep.
area, if you
I
want
think
to
that'd be
pop
lit.
up and show the Irish how you do it,
For I think that would be lit. I think that would probably be. I'm gonna mark it down. We're gonna go back and be like, we talked about this, and we're gonna make it happen because like I think that would be cool as heck. Like you got all these different characters just in a parade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like why not? Like
but
why not?
that goes to the whole purpose of this show is like inspiring people to do what calls to them in any given moment, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And to me, that's so important. And I think about the work that I do in the world. And what is most important to me is that I embody what it is that I teach. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's easy to say, oh, work on your mental health. Oh, yeah, you can overcome addiction, blah, 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 right? But to live and breathe that experience of moving through those times in my life, to then choose joy and to purposefully infuse joy in my life, to be in partnership with somebody who Random Willie
Mario.
will show up in a room dressed as some obscure character that I have no idea who that is. You know,
Yahoo!
that really is our superpower, is that we can cultivate that joy in any moment. We just have to give ourselves permission to do so.
Correct. I mean, my takeaway on all of this was like, this was just beautiful because we got to delve into, you know, cosplay, to talking about the military
That is
background.
doing a full wrap up of the show.
No. I'm just excited. No, I'm speaking my piece. I ain't doing. I'm just speaking my piece of how cool it is. Like, because there's so many different like ways about, you know, how we got into the context of like the conversation. So I just thought it was just really cool. Like, even Colin talking about when he moved from Texas to up here, that's not easy at all. So like, that's the whole like, you're starting from scratch. So to like still have that sense of joy and happiness in life, it's impressive. So I gotta just give you your kudos. That's what I was trying to hit, basically.
Aww.
But Nana's right. The thing is, Connor, like there are a lot of people who would have gone through your experiences and it would have impacted them in a way that really allowed them to feel disempowered. Right. And something you said earlier I wanted to touch upon is the people that surround you. So I can only surmise that you have a strong support system. And I'm curious what role do they play in infusing joy into your life?
Oh, absolutely. So, you know, I have my mother who has been with me since day one.
Shout out.
You've been with her since day one.
True. She's always supported me no matter what I've, you know, wanted to pursue, what I've wanted to do, you know, whether it be, you know, when I was younger doing, you know, sports, when I, you know, moved here and, you know, decided to go through my GED, she was there for me for that. Military way of life, she was there with me on that. My dad and stepmom, they also helped me a lot with, because they are also very spiritual. My dad does Reiki. My stepmom does crystals. Like their side of the family.
Out on me.
Yeah. See, look
I'm
at
gonna
that.
talk to Pops.
What?
Oh yeah, he's got his full on Reiki license and everything.
I love that so much. So have you had a Reiki session with your dad?
I have not yet. But we do sometimes. They try and do it every July. I don't remember the name of the park, but they call it Peace in the Park. It's in Goddard Park in Rhode Island.
Gotcha.
And it's a group of people who do, you know, whether it be palm readings, Reiki healing, just different types of music meditation, things like that.
Yeah.
And one of their friends who's a tattoo artist who I plan on going to see, her in her tattoo studio, she also has a sound meditation Reiki lounge. So you can get a tattoo and also get a little bit of spiritualization while you're getting a tattoo.
Oh my God, Connor, we need to have you back when I don't have to cut this show short. Well, because I mean, here's the thing for anybody out there. Reiki, it's just energy work. So if you hear the word spiritual and you're like, well, that's not for me, or sound healing, again, these are just different modalities that you can open yourself up to have a new experience. And I think it ties so beautifully into this idea around the Brightside Chronicles about bringing joy into your life, because you never know what the next thing is that can truly have an impact on your everyday life. And Reiki, I've had Reiki sessions done. It moves trapped energy through your body. Sound healing, I am actually working alongside an amazing woman, Ada, based out of Germany, who's creating sound healings for an addiction program that we're working on. So it's just all different ways to experience joy depending on what feels right for you. And I encourage you all to open yourself up to new experiences, because you never know what's gonna work or what's gonna bring you joy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
That's so cool. I did not know about the Reiki part. I was like, yo, good stuff. Because I was like, this is like literally like, that's like Carrie's like that's her thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I saw her eyes lit up when you said that. She's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Well, here's the thing. I mean, let's just be real. We're energy guys, which is why, you know, Nana and I are super passionate about encouraging people to find joy. And it's because in that joy, you're more powerful. Like, no BS. That is scientifically proven. You measure at a higher frequency.
Frequency.
When you're at a higher frequency, you feel lighter, which means you're not in that like dense, kind of apathetic, like lethargic way of living. You're more inspired to be like Connor and be energized at work and stuff.
Shout
And
out.
so
Shout out.
understanding that if we know we're energy and we know that joy is a higher energy than sadness or frustration or whatever, which I was just frustrated like 20 minutes ago, guys. And I can tell you the joy is way better. Then
Technical
why
difficulties.
wouldn't you want to choose to lean into that, you know?
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, I'm going to sign us off alive and hopefully. So, guys, we will be back live next week at 7. I'll be on at 6:30 to ensure that we do not run into
Nah, we can't control technical difficulties. It is what it is. We had a
I know.
time.
But thank you all for joining, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Connor, stay on real quick.
And shout out to the people that signed on Instagram too, because like that was, it's kind of funny that like my Instagram actually worked this time around, and then yours wasn't working, so it worked out really well. So next time I'll probably just log on Instagram on here and just do the same thing. And yes, I am hiding in the closet if you guys are wondering. Actually, a bathroom.